Breaking news, I'm trying to get this video to you as soon as possible. The XRP lawsuit is now officially over. Let's listen to Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple Labs.
As many of you know, just over 4 years ago, the United States SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple. I'm finally able to announce that this case has ended. It's over.
Now, XRP had a huge pump off the news. You can see it climbed over 10% in a matter of about 15 minutes of mega pump for XRP. And congrats if you got in on the trade. We predicted that the XRP lawsuit was about to end. We saw the boots on the ground. We saw a lot of rumors flying around, and we knew that there's a lot of talks behind closed doors. And so we called it on the live stream 6 days ago. But get back to what actually happened here. Now, breaking news, SEC has dropped a lawsuit against Ripple. And in this landmark decision, they have decided to drop its appeal and the XRP lawsuit against Ripple Labs, as announced by Brad Garlinghouse in the video we just watched. Now, this development is bringing an end to the 5-year legal battle that has significantly impacted the crypto industry and XRP specifically. Now, just a quick timeline of events. The SEC originally filed the lawsuit years ago, all the way back in December 2020, and they accused Ripple of selling unregistered securities. Now, in July 2023, a judge ruled that XRP's sales to retail investors did not constitute securities transactions. Now, that was a major blow to the SEC, but they're still fighting some of the details on the appeal. But with the SEC's decision to withdraw its appeal and drop the lawsuit, Ripple has now secured a major, significant regulatory victory. But people want to know, what is the next step for XRP, and what does this mean for XRP's price and maybe some other altcoins that might benefit from this news? So attorney Jeremy Hogan is explaining what comes next for Ripple and XRP after SEC has dropped this case. He has this tweet right here, so we're going to just jump to it. For a little more detail, the SEC has apparently dropped its appeal, but we don't know if Ripple has agreed to do the same. That means as far as negative outcomes, the judgment from Judge Torres is the worst it can get. It's a $125 million fine. XRP dragged their heels to potentially lower that $125 million. There are 4 possibilities left. Ripple continues its appeal, and we get a ruling on whether or not investment contracts require contracts, etc. Ripple drops its appeal, and the jurisdiction returns to the court, and the parties attempt to amend the judgment, aka the fine, and whether or not selling XRP to retail constitute a security sale. And the third possibility is Ripple agrees to drop its appeal, and the parties do not try to amend the judgment. Or fourth scenario, Ripple just pays the $125 million and move on. This is all good news. Now, a quick thing I want to say before we jump to the XRP price chart, there are 2 altcoins that I have my eye on after this XRP lawsuit. And I'm looking at this Venn diagram to determine that. Now, I think Flare and XLM obviously are going to pump with any XRP pump, but if you look at, there's only a handful of tokens that have ETF applications that are made in America that have been either mentioned by Trump or had the project founders attend a White House summit. And you can see XRP is in the middle of the Venn diagram with one other token, and that is Cardano. So I think this news is very bullish for Cardano, and I think this news is very bullish for Avalanche as well. Now, if you want to learn more about Avalanche, we also just dropped an Avalanche video just a day ago, so we preceded the pump that we're seeing today, and I'll probably drop a Cardano video tomorrow, so turn on those notifications. I want to give a quick shout out to LBank Exchange. It is my favorite exchange to get all of the latest trading pairs, all of the hottest meme coins and altcoins. You can go to the spot trading, or you could do futures perpetual trading, and we have a link down below with the tutorial on the top of our page. Tons and tons of features here, 24/7 customer support, huge reach here, huge volume, millions of users, and they have over 200 countries and regions covered. So go ahead, open up an account, deposit some funds, and start your trading journey. Let's talk about price action. Now, something that made me think about the price action is the SEC's previous lawsuit against a large entity, and that was when the SEC sued Tesla. Now, after the SEC dropped the charges against Tesla, which happened September 29th, 2018, Tesla went on a huge run. Now, if we zoom in on the daily chart to the end of September, you see Tesla had a nice little short-term pump, pumped about 50%. But when you zoom out and you see the overall structure of how Tesla performed, you can see it wicked a little bit lower, and then Tesla went on a huge run. Now, this is a logarithmic chart, which is stretching out the prices to make it look a little bit better. If we go to regular, it looks even crazier. Tesla just went on a giga pump, and if we catch it from the bottom there, Tesla would end up pumping 3,000%. So the SEC ending a lawsuit typically is very, very bullish for an asset. Now let's get into XRP price action. This is the 4-hour chart we're looking at, and this is a parallel channel that XRP needs to flip into support before XRP can make its next leg. And when we stretch this out, you'll see we have not closed a 4-hour candle outside of this range. We can only wick out above, and right now as we're looking, XRP is battling this area. If we zoom in on the 1 hour, you can see it started to act as a little bit of resistance, and so right now the markets are unsure how bullish this news is. Now, it is my prediction, I think XRP is going to flip out of this range and then turn it into support. When we go to the daily, you can see how it looks on a larger time frame here. We're just kind of stuck in this range. And, you know, there is a chance that people get a little too greedy, try to over leverage their longs here, and then the market needs to do a little bit of a reset, a liquidation flush, and then XRP can go to the next level. Zooming in, let's go to the 5-minute candles here just to look at some of the price action. Huge pump off of this news. You can see XRP, nice little pump. And we got a little mini bull flag forming. So if we measure out the bull flag here, we're going to measure the length of the pole, and that'll give us our next level. So we go ahead, move this down, make sure we're on a regular chart here, and we're going to duplicate the pole and then put it out from where it could potentially break. So we clone it, and we post it. That gives us a $2.82 XRP. Now, when we go from the 5-minute candle to the 1 hour, you'll see that this range has a little bit of resistance. So it makes me think, you know, this could definitely be a level to pay attention to. Go into the daily here, just kind of see where it is acted in the past. Wow, definitely strong resistance. It knocked against this in the middle of February and was only able to wick above on the daily candles. And when we zoom in a little bit to the 4-hour, you can see the same situation. We were unable to close a 4-hour candle above this range. So this is going to be the technical target for XRP to the upside, roughly around $2.80. Now currently XRP is only around $2.50, so I do have a long, we're long from about 250. We're going to be watching this trade very, very carefully because the markets are going to have a lot of swings with Jerome Powell, FOMC meeting, and so expect a lot of volatility. If you do want to get a trade, we do have some links down below. But there's your break-in XRP news. We had a rush to get this video out to you. I'm DZ, and hopefully I'll see you in your Ripple bags at the top.